Hi everyone, my name is Lacey. I am a prenatal yoga teacher, maternal health researcher, and birth worker here in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I'm so glad to have you join me. So today I am creating a prenatal yoga sequence that is very suitable for beginners. I'm going to be going over some very basic breath work, some gentle movement, and some other tools and techniques that you can use to kind of just get your feet wet in prenatal yoga. So prenatal yoga helped me in a few big ways when I was pregnant with my first. The first of those was kind of helping to manage symptoms of anxiety that are normal during pregnancy when you're doing something completely new, growing a new life inside of you. It's kind of a big deal. So I'm going to be going over some things that I found to be helpful for coping with stress, anxiety, fear, that type of thing. And then the second thing that I found to be really helpful from prenatal yoga was sleep hygiene. So I used some meditation techniques when I was actually in labor and leading up to labor to help with sleep. And I'll be going over some of those in our practice today. So I'll be showing practice with a few props. You don't really need much, just a couple of pillows, maybe a blanket or two, some things for comfort, but that's about it. You can get creative with whatever you have lying around the house. I also have linked to a kind of grounding, soothing playlist in the description, and I recommend you check that out and listen along as we're practicing. And that's about it. Okay, we'll set up on our mat, so I'll see you there. We'll get started. So we'll start this short practice in a seat, and I recommend setting up with something to sit on. That may mean a blanket, that might mean a yoga block, it might mean a pillow or two, but it's just nice to have a little bit of height underneath your seat so that you can create the normal curve of your spine. So I will just fold this blanket in half and take a seat on top of that. And then you can sit cross-legged or you can sit down with your knees bent, just whatever's most comfortable here. We're going to be in this seat for a few minutes. So just get somewhere where you can be comfortable, where you feel like is sustainable. And if it doesn't feel sustainable to sit down on the ground, you can also sit up in a seat, in a chair. So whatever serves you best here. Could also be lying down on your bed. A lot of the exercises that I'll go over are bed friendly. They are things that might relax you, might get you ready to sleep. So that's okay to practice in a bed as well. But we'll just start with anchoring. And so that just kind of means maybe looking around the room you're in and just noticing where you are. Just kind of scanning where you are, and what I like to do is find things in the room that are soothing to me. So for me, I love these little lights that I have. I love the seahorse that I have in the corner. The paintings. So just noticing what's around you, any colors. And then if it feels okay to do so, you can close your eyes and start to anchor into what's happening in your body. If you can, start to straighten your spine a little, lengthening up through the crown of your head. Notice your breath. And as you're inviting awareness to your breath, just notice where your breath is moving in your body. Wherever it's moving, however the breath feels, just allow it to come in and out naturally. And the goal of breath work in prenatal yoga is never to create a sense of stress or dizziness or dis-ease. So if you start to feel dizziness, if you start to feel lightheaded, just know that you can stop these breathing exercises that I'll be going over at any point and just return to your normal, natural breathing. But if it feels okay to start to alter the breath, then you can place one hand to your heart, second hand a little bit lower than the base of your ribs. So right above the navel, down at your belly. And start to breathe into the hand around your belly. So breathing maybe a little bit lower than you might naturally take the breath. As you're breathing down into your belly, notice if you can expand the rib cage around you as well. So almost inviting a 360-degree expansion of the belly area. And breathing down low into the belly. This is called diaphragmatic breathing. And it's one way I find really soothing for the nervous system. As you're inviting the breath down to your belly, you might connect in with baby. You might imagine bringing nourishment down. And if it feels good to keep doing what you're doing, you can. Otherwise, you can start to count your breath. Invite all your focus to the feeling of your breath as you start to count your breath. As you inhale, you can count to 4. So inhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if my pace of counting is too fast or too slow, you can always alter it to a way that feels more suited to your needs. Otherwise, keep going. Inhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 more. Inhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4. And just let that breathing pattern go. Just return to normal breathing. And you can rest your hands down on your lap now. Breathing in and out the nose. And we'll just take one more breathing exercise before we start just a little bit of gentle movement. So you can flutter your eyes open if they're not already. The last breathing exercise we'll do in this video is called Nadi Shodhana, or alternate nostril breathing. And to do this breath work, you can take your peace fingers on your right hand to the space between your eyebrow. And then you can use your right thumb to cover your right nostril, and then take an inhale through the left side. Cover the left nostril with your ring finger, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Cover the nostril, exhale through the left. Inhale left. Cover the left nostril, exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. One more on each side. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Release your hands. Breathe in and out your nose. Notice how your body feels. Good. And we'll just do just a little bit of really gentle prenatal yoga. When I say yoga, I mean asana, so I mean the movement part of yoga, the yoga postures. It's not going to be anything big, it's not going to be anything fancy, just a little bit of the basics. And movement is so important during pregnancy and even into labor, because it can really, in my experience, help to release some of those nervous jitters that happen. And I find that in addition to doing yoga, just, even going for walks was really helpful for me when I was pregnant. So that's definitely just any kind of movement that is accessible to you and that doesn't cause pain. It's good movement to try. But for today, we'll just be doing a little bit of opening the chest, opening the heart space, because this space of the body can get really stuck, can get really stagnant during pregnancy. So we'll be doing some movement for that. The basics of prenatal yoga happens on hands and knees. If that position is not comfortable for you, you can always drop down onto elbows. But and if your knees are sensitive, you can always take a blanket down underneath them. But I'll be demoing this with palms down on the mat, the tops of the feet grounded. And what I like to do here, first and foremost, is just a little bit of flexion and extension of the spine. And in yoga, we call this cat and cow. So as you inhale, you can just start to draw your shoulder blades in, lift your chest forward, maybe your gaze lift just a little. And then as you exhale, press down into your hands, spread the shoulder blades out. Inhale, draw your shoulder blades in, open across your collarbones. Exhale, press down through your hands, round your upper back, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose, shoulder blades draw in. Exhale, press down into your hands and round the upper back. And take a few more of those, moving one breath per motion. And still thinking about breathing down to baby, to your belly, as you're taking these movements. Just a couple more. Good. Come back through center. Start to wag your tail a little side to side. So shifting the hips from one side to the other. Good. Now widen your knees so they come just a little bit wider than hips width apart. And circle your hips in one direction. If you're hearing some background noise, my dog is snoring on the bed, so you're not imagining that. There is a snoring animal. It's kind of some nice background noise for me. A little bit of a soothing sound. As you're making this motion, notice any sensation around the hips, around the thighs. And circle your hips the other way. Widen your knees even more, so wider than hips width apart. Soften your hips towards your heels, and if that doesn't happen, you can stack another blanket or pillow in between your hips and heels. And then crawl your fingertips forward. And you want, again, your knees wide here, so you're making space for baby, making space for your belly. And let your forehead start to soften towards your mat. This is known as child's pose. If your forehead doesn't comfortably touch your mat, you can take a pillow or a block or a blanket underneath your forehead, just so you have something to rest it on. And if that position doesn't feel comfortable, you could instead shift forward a little, so you're just on your hands, on your forearms and on your knees, and then drop chin to chest. So another kind of variation of the same kind of energy you want here. And whichever variation you're taking in your body, just notice what you can start to soften here. So we tend to hold a lot of stress, a lot of tension, a lot of anxiety in the jaw and the shoulders. At least I know I do. So notice if you can soften any tension in those spaces. And notice how quickly you can invite your body to soften out, and how quickly your body can respond to that invitation. And as you practice more prenatal yoga, that may start to happen quicker and quicker. At least that's the goal. Good, and then slowly release out of your child's pose. Draw your knees back down to the mat. If you had a block or a blanket underneath your forehead, just set it aside. And then step your right foot out so that it comes in line with your left knee. Ground your left hand down, about at the level of your left shoulder, and then just reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. So just a nice open twist. Spread through your right fingers. And then ground your right hand back down. Change to the opposite side. So now it will be your left foot that steps out, right hand grounds. Reach your left fingertips up. Spreading wide through the collarbones. Good, and then let that go. Come back through center. And take one more child's pose, or one more grounding of your forearms down and your chin towards your chest. So just inviting your body to soften once again. And this second time that you come into this resting shape, again, notice how quickly your body responds to that invitation to release stress, to release tension. And then roll yourself up. And the last thing that we'll be doing in our practice today is practicing sleep. We call it Shavasana in yoga. And with prenatal yoga, I really enjoy teaching Shavasana lying down on one side, usually on the left side. And so this position mimics probably how you might sleep at night. So practicing the motion of sleeping and practicing allowing your body to become loose, to become limp, can benefit you, because you're doing the same thing at night, and during pregnancy it can be a little bit harder to get restful sleep. So by practicing that motion, you might come into actual sleep a little quicker and with a little more ease. So for this side lying Shavasana, I'll be showing it with one bolster. You can instead have one long pillow if you don't have a bolster, and one blanket. You can have a lot more props than this, but I'll just be showing a very simple version of the shape. One blanket is going to go underneath my left ear, and the one bolster is going to go underneath my top leg here, my right leg. And then the left hip is going to come down onto the mat. I have my left leg all the way extended out to the side. If I had another blanket here, I would wrap it in between my arms. That's kind of a nice variation to take. Otherwise, you just settle your left ear down onto the blanket or pillow, whatever setup you have. Just make sure you are comfortable here. So any little shifts, any little movements that you need to take to find a little more ease, take those movements now. And as you practice resting here in Shavasana, I'll just be going through a little bit of kind of a yogic meditation, a yoga nidra practice, just to continue to invite a little softening in. So as you're lying down, either on your mat or on your bed, just start to notice your body, notice how it feels. Let your eyelids become a little heavier. Let them close if that feels supportive. And I'm going to cue a softening that's moving down the body. And as I say these body parts, you can just almost feel the spaces in your body softening. You don't actually have to imagine each and every one of the places that I say. You don't have to visualize it, but just let the words pass over. And so inviting softening through the crown of your head, through your scalp, the back of the skull, the hairline, your forehead, temples, your eyebrows, your nose, eye sockets, your eyes, eyelids, your cheekbones, your ears, your cheeks, your mouth, tongue, lips, chin, your jawline, your neck and throat, collarbones, shoulders. Let this softening move down to the center of your heart. Let it move over your arm bones, elbows, forearms, your wrists, tops of the hands, the palms, your thumbs, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, pinky finger, your whole hands. Back through the center of your heart, over the upper back, over your ribs, the middle back, over your belly, over baby, over your low back, and your sacrum, and your tailbone, over the pubic bone, over the pelvic floor, over your hips, pelvis, over the fronts of your thighs, your hamstrings, kneecaps, backs of the knees, your shins, your calves, over the ankles, tops of the feet, your heels, soles of the feet, balls of the feet, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. Feeling the entire feet soft, feeling the entire body soft. Let your entire body become a little heavier. And then imagine a sense of lightning, as if you could float off the mat. And then let it become heavier and light and heavy and light. And stay with something a little bit neutral, so feeling a sense of grounding And then also a little bit of lightness around the heart. And start to feel your breath once again. Breathing down to your belly, breathing down to baby. And start to focus all your attention on your breath. And you're going to count now in your mind's eye. So I want you to count backwards from 11. Each inhale is 1 count, each exhale is 1 count, all the way to 0. And if you lose track, you can always return. Always return to 11 and start over. All your focus can be here. And so counting on your own. And whatever number you're on, just let the count go. And if you haven't done so already, you can create an intention for your yoga practice today. And without forcing anything to come to mind, just notice what comes up. See yourself, who you want to be. See where you want to be. And let that image fade. And whatever thoughts may still be lingering in your mind, see if you can let them go as well. And if thoughts keep coming up, that's okay too. Just let them pass, like clouds in the sky. Returning to the present. The next few moments, I'll leave for silence. And as you continue with your relaxation, with your Shavasana. And then just start to invite a little bit of awareness back to where you are in space. Start to feel your body once again. Feel your fingers and toes. Maybe just give them a gentle wiggle. And take your time to do so, but when you're ready, you can ground your palms down into the earth and lift yourself up to seated. As you arrive, just notice how your body feels in this moment. And draw your palms together at the center of your heart. And start to rub the back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Building a little heat here. And release your hands and place one to your heart, second hand to your belly. And bow your chin to your chest, bowing to the teacher within. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, comments, requests for classes, please do let me know. All right, enjoy your day.